Welcome to the Ogden City Council's quick meeting recap for the work session and City Council meeting that took place on Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. In the work session, the Council reviewed and discussed the proposed Fiscal Year 2023 through 2027 Capital Improvement Plan. The proposed CIP projects total $399,710,405 over 5 years, with $164,354,955 proposed for Fiscal Year 2023. Some new projects in the proposed CIP include $23 million for the Marshall White Center, $80 million for the replacement of the 36-inch Canyon water line, several street improvements, and many others. A complete breakdown of the projects and their costs can be found in the meeting results document found on our website. The plan will be reviewed in more detail alongside the proposed Fiscal Year 2023 budget through May and June. The Council then reviewed a proposed boundary line adjustment between the cities of Ogden and North Ogden. This discussion was a continuation of the initial conversation from the work session of April 12th. The boundary line adjustment was proposed due to the development of an apartment complex near Ogden City's border with North Ogden City. The proposal would change the boundary to have North Ogden absorb 1.6 acres from Ogden to provide consistency in development and public services to the proposed apartment complex. In the April 12th meeting, council members expressed concern about the potential loss of tax revenue. The council directed council and administrative staff to work with the developer and North Ogden City to explore options that would be beneficial for both cities. The council then reviewed proposed zone text amendments to allow food manufacturing in the Business Exchange Industrial Zone. The purpose of the change is to allow an ice cream manufacturing facility. The BEI zone does not currently allow food manufacturing because the zone was originally intended to be an area for manufacturing, research, and development of outdoor recreation products. The Planning Commission recommended approval, and they felt that food manufacturing should be permissible because there is a food manufacturer, Ogden Distillery, across the street. This will be considered by the Council on May 17th. In the Council meeting, the Council recognized Ogden City Recorder Tracy Hansen for being named Recorder of the Year by the Utah Municipal Clerks Association. In a request to be on the agenda, the Council received the year-end report for the Ogden City Youth Council. This was the first year of the new Ogden City Youth Council. Among the many activities over the last year, the Youth Council began the flag design contest with high school students in Ogden and received submissions that will be considered by the Ogden City Flag Design Committee. The Youth Council also participated in many service projects and participated at Local Officials Day at the Capitol Building in Salt Lake City. In another request to be on the agenda, the Council received the annual report for the Ogden Soccer Club. President Stephen Van Wagner shared the club's philosophy to bring the community together through youth soccer programs. The club's mission is guided by its 4 principles of being player-centered, having trained coaches, a positive environment, and being community-focused. Ogden Soccer is a non-profit organization that does not receive funding from Ogden City. Through common consent, the Council approved the appointment of Daniel Bedford and the reappointments of Amy Urbina, Bridget Barkema, and Riley Allen to the Ogden Natural Resources and Sustainability Stewardship Committee. After a public hearing, the Council adopted the updated Water Shortage Management Plan and code amendments. The proposed amendments to the Water Shortage Management Plan include changes to the 4 phases of water shortage. The classification of Phase 1 has been changed from normal to moderate, with no changes to the target use reduction of no target. The classification of Phase 2 has been changed from moderate to severe, with the target use reduction changed from 5% to 10%. The classification of Phase 3 has been changed from severe to extreme, with the target use reduction changed from 15% to 20%. The classification of Phase 4 has been changed from extreme to exceptional, with no changes to the target use reduction of 30%. The proposed amendments also update the triggers for each phase. Previously, the trigger for Phase 2 was tied to water levels at Pineview Reservoir and Ogden River, and the trigger for Phase 3 was tied to additional sources, such as the Eden Valley wells. The approved amendments tie the trigger for each phase to the state's drought index. In addition, wording to allow the triggering of a particular phase based on water system failure or contamination was added to Phase 2 and Phase 3. The amendments also add limits on maximum irrigations per week for each of the water shortage phases. The amendments also expand the dates during which outdoor watering between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. is prohibited between June 1st to September 30th to between April 15th to November 1st. The Council then approved a proposed zone text amendment to unify time expiration of approvals for development. Previously, there were different expiration timelines for conditional use permit applications, plat applications, multi-phase developments, site plan reviews, and several other land use applications. The different expiration timelines were confusing for both staff and applicants. The Planning Department recommended conforming expiration deadlines across the various land use applications to make it easier to enforce and keep track of the status of each application. The Council then received the Mayor's presentation for the proposed Fiscal Year 2023 budget. The Council accepted the budget for review and will take action on the final budget later this summer. With employee retention retention as the primary focus for the mayor, the proposed budget includes a 13% salary increase for general employees, a 14% salary increase for sworn fire employees, and an 8% salary increase for sworn police employees. To fund this increase, the mayor is proposing that the city council go through the truth in taxation process to increase property taxes in Ogden City. The council will hold a series of work sessions over the next several weeks to review the proposed expenditures for all departmental accounts and all major and minor funds. A tentative budget will be adopted after holding an initial public hearing. A second public hearing will be held at the time of adoption of the final budget. During the budget hearings, the council outlines their proposed changes to the tentative and final budgets and accepts public input. Once the final public hearing is closed, the council makes changes and adopts the final city budget. By state law, a budget must be adopted by June 30th unless a property tax increase is under consideration, in which case the final budget would need to be adopted by September 1st. The council then received a communications update regarding the proposal for a right-of-way vacation at 1st Street between Washington Boulevard and Adams Avenue and rezone at 101 and 131 Adams Avenue. The petitioner is planning on redeveloping the old Waynesguards property, and they would like to expand the property further north by vacating this right-of-way and rezoning it to C3. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the vacation and stated that the vacation is consistent with the general plan. The petitioner is proposing to rezone the rear portion of the two lots located at 101 and 131 Adams Avenue, as well as the 1st Street right-of-way located between Adams Avenue and Washington Boulevard. The two items related to this proposal were extended to give more time to gather information about the development. No action was taken as part of the presentation of the communications plan. Both items will be considered in the meeting on May 17th. After a closed executive session, the council approved the appointment of Brandon Cooper as the Community and Economic Development Director. Cooper served as the Deputy Director for the department for 10 years and was serving as the Interim Director prior to his appointment. The entire recording for the meetings of May 3rd can be accessed on the Ogden City Council's Facebook page and podcast with timestamps to skip to specific agenda items. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to the council office at 801-629-8153 or send an email to citycouncil@ogdencity.com.